Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on in the Matt Bauscher Show. We're working on a cool Matt Bauscher intro, so we're just going cold turkey today. Dive right into it and get right to it. But Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, joining us as always. We're trying to do this every week here. We haven't set a current time or date yet, but we're going to at least once a week try to get you some Boise State basketball talk here on the Matt Bauscher Show. We saw Matt sitting courtside there for the Northridge game. Matt, that was a little, supposed to win by 20, won by 9. Northridge hung around a little bit, but obviously a fourth straight win nonetheless. What was your take from the other night?
A win's always a good thing against a Division I opponent. But I'm not by myself when I say that was one of the ugliest games I've seen. I think from an offensive display. I mean, nobody could score. They couldn't throw the ball into an ocean, and I'm glad we're tough and we're gritty, and our defense got it done because up by 3 with a minute or a minute and a half left, we could have lost that game for as poorly as we played on the offensive end.
I mean, but sometimes, I mean, you played games like that, right, where you're supposed to win, and it's not always perfect. I mean, do you have to just kind of find ways? I mean, it could have been the Bakersfield game where they lost, right? So, I mean, at least they found a way to win. I mean, what's that like as a player where you can tell early on it's just going to be one of those days, but you got to just fight through it?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to get it done in the last 5 minutes is, what we won every game with last year is they buckled down in the last 5 minutes when it matters. We kind of got behind the 8 ball against Cal State. We came out flat, and I think we were losing by 5, 10 minutes in. And that's what we're not going to be able to do against a good team is come out flat and get behind the 8 ball because our offense, I mean, as of now, we don't have the firepower to go on these 20-2 runs.
Now, Leon thinks they're going to be a much better offensive team than we've seen so far. Marcus Shaver yesterday was saying the same thing. Obviously, the three-point shooting is not close to where they think it will end up. What have you seen from some of the shooting? I mean, Marcus Shaver Jr. is only 20% from three-point range. Tyson Degenhart's 20%. Max Rice is 33%. But, I mean, I think we expect a lot of these guys to – I mean, they got a lot of makes coming, right? I mean, we expect the three-point shooting to be better.
Absolutely. Nobody is playing offensively or shooting the ball anywhere near what they're going to be at, in the future. So the good thing is we're winning and our record's really good for as bad as we're shooting the ball. And what you can't teach is toughness, defense, and we've been exceptionally well. Not getting a lot of assists and turnovers, and a lot of it is we can't hit at a high percentage. But the great thing is it just barely turned December. So, this time last year, I think is when we started the show, and we know what our record was December 2nd or December 3rd last year. And the team is light years, in a better position than that.
What's it been like seeing Marcus Shaver Jr. switching over to the point guard position? He's averaging 15 points, 8.4 rebounds. He's up over 4 assists, I believe, like 3 steals a game. I haven't checked lately, but going into the last game, he was the only player in the nation averaging like all 4 of those stat lines. What do you make of Marcus Shaver? We talk a lot about E-Man and all those guys that left, Abu Kijab, and Shaver was one of the guys that kind of came back to make it kind of his team. And he's stepped up for, he's not shooting the ball great from the outside, but he's still scoring and doing a lot of things.
The fact that he's getting almost 10 rebounds in most of these games for his size is a testament to his heart, and he's smart and he knows where to be, and, just being tough. I mean, there's no better compliment you can get, as a smaller guard that you're leading the team in rebounding or getting 10 rebounds against the teams they've been facing. So my hat's off to him. He's not a natural point guard. He's a natural shooting guard where he scores and is aggressive, but he's done a really good job of staying aggressive, but also facilitating, and he'll only get better and more natural as the year goes by.
How does, and by the way, I think he's at like number 4 in the entire Mountain West Conference in rebounding right now at 8.4 a game. Now, some of these guys are boxing out, and he's just, the beneficiary of grabbing the ball. Some of these he's battling with guys. We saw he had at least one, I think, putback in the offensive rebound and putback in the game the other night. But how for a 6'2" guard to be averaging 8.5 rebounds a game? I mean, how's that working?
That's amazing. And it sets the leadership, as the point guard and the senior and the most experienced on the team, you're going in and getting them. Everybody else better go in and get them is the message it's sending.
What else is standing out to you at this point? I think what Najee Smith has done has been awesome to see. Some of the games that he's had, he's averaging 8.7, 4.3 a game, but he had 19 points the other night, and it looks like his overall game has really improved. Some of the awkward shots, the scoop shots, the post ups. We even saw him hit a 3 the other night. nothing against Najee. I kind of like him when he's the sixth man because of what the energy he brings off the bench. But they've never lost since they moved him back into the starting lineup. 4 games since they've done that. So what do you make of him starting over Milner and what you're getting out of Najee?
Najee is a Swiss Army knife. He can rebound. He can block shots. He can dive on the floor. He'll get into the paint. He'll hit an open shot. He can score, and we need scoring. I mean, that's going to be the issue that we need, is to put points on the board. We score in the 50s or the low 60s. We're going to lose a lot of games, like you saw at Charlotte and Utah Valley and almost against Cal State Northridge. I mean, he's going to provide a spark, what we need: second chance points, transition. Najee brings a lot of energy. I mean, he's a fan favorite without question.
He is Matt Bauscher. I'm BJ Rains. This is the Matt Bauscher Show, here for a couple more minutes on BroncoNationNews.com, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Hopefully you're following us on all of those channels. And like we said, do this about once a week. Try to just talk basketball for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes and get you set. And we'll talk about the Texas A&M game here coming up in a minute. But we really haven't done a show, Matt, I think in 2 weeks. And so there's kind of catching up on some season thoughts to this point. What do you make of Tyson? Obviously averaging 14.7 a game. He's, again, only shooting 20% from three-point range when I think we all thought he was going to shoot, 40+%. So Leon says the number is always correct. He's got a lot of makes coming. But overall, Tyson building off that Mountain West Freshman of the Year last year and just kind of becoming more of a focal point of the offense this year. What do you make of what you've seen from Tyson?
He's coming into himself, and he's not pressing it. He's nowhere near where he's going to be, in a month or two, and he can kill you in so many ways. I mean, you can tell his rhythm's off a little bit, some of his turnovers to assists and his shot, but once he starts hitting shots, I mean, he's still getting buckets. Defensively is so impressive. I got a bunch of messages from fans, clients, and friends after the last couple games, like, man, Tyson's not scared to guard anybody. I mean, he can guard a 4 or 5 in there. He doesn't back down. And those are the intangibles. So when normal fans watching the game, they're looking where the ball is and how that's going. I'm looking at the screens, the boxing out, who's sealing inside on offense, defensive help side, if you're on a yo-yo, if you're in, who in offense is getting paint touches, which is creating shots and other angles. There's no easier time to attack the basket than on a closeout. And the guy that can get it up and get the defense moving. I mean, those are the things that I'm trying to walk. Who are doing the intangibles that's going to help us when Mountain West comes and everybody reads. They know every play you're running at every given moment. And a high IQ like Tyson is invaluable.
Going back to Najee for a second, Jordan Morales says, just realized Najee reminds him of R.J. Williams, and not just because of the headband, but maybe a little bit undersized, but battles in there, can get it done. And yeah, he's been he's made a lot of improvement. It's been nice to see for him. What have you made of Chibuzo Abo, the Texas Tech transfer? You helped get him to Boise State, doing some NIL deals and stuff for him, and obviously you know him pretty well. Got off to a really rough start, but he had 2 of the last 4 games. He's been over 20 points. Still looking for some consistency from him, but overall he's looking like there's obviously a lot of potential there.
Yeah, he's actually shooting the ball. I mean, percentage-wise, I think he's the top for three-point percentage-wise. He's over 40%. And consistency is going to come with him. I mean, he's a high-character guy. He's putting in the work. He's going to be in there getting the extra shots, doing all the things that coaches don't have to worry about. But the thing with him is it's just going to take a little time. He's in a role he hasn't had since high school, and he's going to be looked to score, consistently and not have the games where he has 25 and the games where he goes 1 for 6. But that just takes a little time getting his legs under him and becoming comfortable and not just being a jump shooter, bringing other aspects to it. He had some foul trouble in some of the games. And a lot of that, I think, is just rhythm. You wait and give it a few games. I mean, he already has that confidence. He's not scared to shoot, and you've seen it in the games he's scored 20+. What
have you seen from Sada?
Sada hasn't got a lot of time yet. I mean, he's not. They're still working on the rotation on who's going to get the minutes. And Sada's he's an NBA prospect with his size and his length, and he's in a new role. I mean, he's straight out of high school, and he's trying to English. English is a third, fourth language for him, and things are moving fast. And you see that all the time with guys that get on campus. Is it takes them sometimes a semester till they really start understanding the systems. And then instead of being cerebral and thinking, they're just playing and they're reacting.
What you look at what they've done to this point, and I know the Charlotte game scoring 11 points in the first half was obviously not very good, and then they lost to South Dakota State by 2 in the first half there. But overall, nice win over a top. Washington State's number 62 right now at KenPom. The big win over Colorado, they're 57. I'm sure you'd like to be 7-0 at this point, but to be 5-2 and where they're at. The first 6 games were all top 150 KenPom teams before playing Northridge. Schedule's going to get a lot tougher here, though, with A&M coming up on Saturday, St. Louis the following Saturday. They're both in the top 50 at KenPom. What's just your overall take, I guess, 5-2 at this point?
I can't wait for A&M. I mean, we beat A&M, and obviously Colorado put 100 on them. And when we beat Colorado, you can always play that game. But, if we beat A&M, you're 2-0 against the Pac-12, and now you just beat a Texas A&M team virtually on a road game down in Texas. That's special. I can't remember the last time, a team was 3-0 against, the bigger conferences like that this early, if it's ever happened. So to get to 6-2, it's a big game, but they're going to be ready for it. These guys, the vets are battle tested, and, some of those guys, they're gonna come out of their own that we haven't seen yet, that they've been shown in practice.
KenPom has A&M winning by 4, at least in the projection, so it should be a pretty close game. But Boise State is an underdog in this game. They didn't play A&M in that tournament, but I was out there in Myrtle Beach and saw A&M. They got some dudes, man. They got some, they look like SEC basketball players is the best way to say it. Just thick, tough guys. It just it's going to be a battle tomorrow, and we'll see, because A&M I don't think's lost. They've won a couple in a row too since they struggled in that tournament, and so they've kind of got it rolling a little bit. And then you got St. Louis the following Saturday as well. These are some opportunities, Matt, to really start getting a nice resume together for the tournament.
Yeah, in the Mountain West, holy cow. Some of those teams, San Diego State, they're going to be a handful. Wow. I've seen them a couple times now, and I think they're a lot better than they were last year. A lot better.
Yeah, and you got, let's see, in terms of KenPom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Mountain West teams right now in the top 90 at KenPom. Maybe not quite as high as last year in terms of you have San Diego State at 24, and then you have a lot kind of in the 50, 70, 80 range. So but once again, the strength of the league, 7 of the 11 teams are 89 or higher at KenPom right now.
So to give that perspective, with 335 Division I teams, 7 of our teams in the conference are in the top 25% of the country. That's mind-blowing to think of, and there's not very many conferences in the country that can say that they have 7 people in the top 89. So that's what Mountain West basketball is about, and I'm liking that we're having these tough contests in the regular season before conference season begins.
So, again, the game's tomorrow, A&M. It's on ESPNU. It'll start probably before the football game ends, unfortunately. It's not ideal timing tomorrow. It'll be at 5 o'clock. The football game starts at 2, so hopefully Boise State's up enough on Fresno. Folks can switch on over to the football game. We'll be over at the James Kitchen and Bar across the street doing our post-game show, and they'll have the basketball game on there afterwards. So hopefully folks can win the title, and then the football team can win the title, and everybody can celebrate and switch over and watch the basketball game and have a heck of a night tomorrow. Does that sound good, Matt? Tomorrow's going to be good. We're going to win a Mountain West football championship. I think I get to throw a football at halftime or something for $60,000, I'm told. I don't know if it's for sure. Wow. And then the basketball team's going to beat Texas A&M. So it's going to be a fun Saturday. Well, just what you need, Matt, $60,000. We got to. I think it's a discount for a client of ours. I haven't heard all the specifics. How about that? There we go. That'd be perfect. Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully we can make that happen. And I do want to mention, Matt, a thank you to you before we get out of here. Bauscher Real Estate's involved in our giveaway that we're doing coming up at the end of the month, and the winner of our trip gets to go with Matt. So Matt was agreed to go on the trip and hang out with the winner, and you can ride down on the jet with Matt and go to the game and hang out, and it should be a fun time. And Bauscher Real Estate is helping sponsor the contest. So Matt, we appreciate you for agreeing to do this and for all that you've done to help out Bronco Nation News in year 1, man. And it's we're on to bigger and better things here in year 2. But folks that want to hang out with you and watch the game and head to Vegas can sign up for a new subscription at BroncoNationNews.com or renew their current subscription by December 31st. And they just do the one-time fee, $70, comes out to $1.35 a week. $1.35 a week gets you all these shows and all the coverage and everything. And the grand prize, you get to hang out with Matt in Vegas. So Matt, looking forward to that trip, man. That's going to be fun.
as a Bronco fan, it's mind blowing that for as little as $70 a year, and as much as you give to the Boise State fans, we can get all the inside information. I mean, you're on road trips that nobody is, and then on top of that, we get into her drawing to take a private jet to Vegas to watch UNLV, a hotel, and you're flying home the next morning and there for most of the day of work. I mean, that's a good time right there. So whoever wins, I'm stoked. I am pumped to sit there with the Vegas Rowdies and watch a road win.
I've ridden on the private jet with you, and so I can attest that it's a good time. So there will be fun times had hanging out with Matt, and looking forward to that. And again, thanks to you and Bauscher Real Estate for sponsoring us. And we've been giving away our Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Game on the post game shows. We got to pick some new players though. It's been the same 2 or 3 every game so far. We'll see what we can do. But thanks, Matt, publicly again for what you're doing for us here. And these shows are a lot of fun, and for doing the trip. And look forward to continuing this thing going, and hopefully this team staying on the nice winning ways like we've had for the most part with this show since we started it last year.
Yeah, our record's pretty good for the Broncos since the show started.
That's a good point. It's 5-2, and then it was only 3 losses last year, 24-4, I think. So like
27 wins last year. Right?
I know, but they already had 3 before we started. So I think it's 29-6 now since we started the show. So
I think Leon would take 29-6.
Most fans would. Hey, Matt, go sell some more homes. BauscherRealEstate.com. Folks can check it out. Number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason, and he's a even better person. So we appreciate Matt, and hopefully for all your real estate needs, you'll check out BauscherRealEstate.com, and his fabulous team will take care of you there. So Matt, we'll do this again next week, man. We'll see you at the game tomorrow. Good luck on the toss. We'll make sure we get some video of that so we can chastise you on next week.
Video, actually.
We'll be down there. I'll make sure we'll have somebody, and we'll put it on there next week's show. Hopefully a victorious throw. But thanks, man, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks. Go Broncos.
There he is, Matt Bauscher, the Matt Bauscher Show, Bauscher Real Estate. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you from Albertson Stadium with the pregame show tomorrow. Big day for Boise State Athletics. We got your full coverage. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.